This week on Advanced Comics, we take a look at comic books and merchandise arriving at your comic book stores on January 19th, 2011. Here to talk about this week's titles are Danny and Dale.
Hi, I'm Dale.
And I'm Danny, and we've got a lot to talk about this week, so we're going to get started. First, we have Batman 706. It's part of the white cover event. A deadly foe has acquired an ancient relic. Will Batman have to make the ultimate sacrifice?
Doesn't Batman make sacrifices all the time?
Not Dick Grayson Batman.
True. Next is Darkwing Duck number 8. It's the finale
What?
to the current storyline. Yes, the finale to the current storyline of Crisis on Infinite Darkwing Ducks. Yes, if you like the 90s nostalgia, don't worry, it'll still continue. It's just this current story arc is ending with this book. And a great story arc too. If you haven't picked it up, I suggest either doing so or waiting until the current storyline is put in graphic novel. Very, very good.
Let's get dangerous. We have Amazing Spider-Man number 652, which is Revenge of the Spider Slayers, part 1 of 3. I think he's pulling a lot of ideas from the old 90s cartoon.
Maybe. I noticed this one has Alistair Smythe in it.
He played a big part. We've got Matt Gargan, who is back as the Scorpion, as we said last week, and the Insect Army.
Insect Army versus Spider-Man. Does sound 90s, but good 90s. Next we have Power Girl number 20. I'm really liking this current storyline. I was really kind of worried that when we lost Palmiotti and Connor that the story and art would get, but I've been pleasantly surprised that it hasn't.
Well, Winnick's a great writer.
Very much so. This is also a white cover, continuing the January white cover design that DC has. It's a Generation Lost tie-in. They're going to Cadmus looking for Maxwell Lord.
She still doesn't remember who he is yet, does she?
At the end of the last story, she was still confused as to why she was upset. So I'm curious as to how this storyline is going to continue.
Oh yeah, Tiny Titans number 36, written by Baltazar and Franco. Tiny Titans is probably my favorite children's book this whole year. I've loved it since I picked up the first issue, and I'm going to keep reading it. This issue, Terra takes the Tiny Titans to the center of the earth, with Beast Boy not far behind.
Where Terra's involved, Beast Boy usually does follow.
Like Blackest Night.
Like Blackest Night. Invincible Iron Man number 500 is our next book. It's a giant-size anniversary issue. It's a future story dealing with 3 generations of Starks fighting an ultimate foe. Tony Stark has a son, and he has 10 nightmares that come true.
You mean like 10 rings?
Maybe.
Jurassic Park, Devil in Desert number 1. John Byrne, who was known for writing some really good Superman and X-Men stories in the late 80s and early 90s. The main premise of this story, cowboys versus dinosaurs.
Nom nom nom.
A rural sheriff investigates local cattle mutilations.
Next is Wolverine and Jubilee number 1. This story comes out of the Curse of Mutants storyline, which is my friend Danny's favorite story, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny, you didn't like the vampires too much, although I thought it was a pretty good way to bring a new storyline into the X-Men. However, Jubilee is still a vampire. And in order to deal with that, she has to have blood transfusions constantly from Wolverine.
I wonder why that just wouldn't heal her completely.
They're not explaining that yet, but evidently it just works on a temporary basis to curb her appetites.
Alright. We've got Brightest Day number 18. It's got a white cover, and Hawkman and Hawkgirl are both Star Sapphires.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Captain Boomerang begins his hunt for Dove and Deadman seeking life.
Ooh. How many issues left?
7.
7
Unless
issues.
they change it again.
Unless they change it again. I kind of hope they do. I really like Brightest Day.
But all good things must come to an end.
True, true. Last, we have Thor 619. Odin is back, or as they like to call him, Old One-Eye. This deals with the origin of the World Tree, which is space-time for us, And apparently world eaters are coming to Midgard. If you don't know what Midgard is, that is actually Earth,
The mortal realm.
the mortal realm. And that marks the end of the books that we have for review this week, Danny.
Yep. Tune in next Tuesday, and we're going to send it back to Jay.
Thanks, guys. Remember, check us out every Tuesday night to find out what's coming out in advance. Also, be sure to check out our affiliate channels here on YouTube.